Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to Retro Revisited. I'm here to ask you a very important question. Are hunchbacks cool? Okay, maybe it's not that important, but after playing Super Hunchback on the Game Boy, a whole world opened up to me. A world of slightly abnormal backs. Because Super Hunchback, and I know I've said Hunchback a lot already here, but deal with it, is a game with an interesting backstory. Namely, as it's the fourth and final entry in a series developed by Ocean Software. All three previous titles in the franchise were for 8-bit computers. The first two are standard arcadey platformers. There was Hunchback in 1983 and Hunchback 2 Quasimodo's Revenge the next year. Then in 1986 there was Hunchback the Adventure, which did a complete about-turn for the series, being a text adventure. You could say Quasimodo? Nah, that just doesn't work, I'm sorry. Finally, 6 years later, Super Hunchback arrived on the Game Boy, and it's the best game starring a hunchback ever made. Now that may not sound like high praise, but the big-backed fellows were surprisingly popular in the 80s. You had Hunchy, Punchy, Quasimodo, the Bells, and Hunchback at the Olympics. I somehow can't think of a pun to put here about that, and that's hugely frustrating. Admittedly, a fair few of these were just rip-offs of Ocean's titles, something that was quite common in the cassette tape Wild West of the 8-bit computer, but still. Anyway, the fad came to a close with Super Hunchback, and ever since, we've not really seen the deformed dudes in games aside from the occasional movie tie-in and Castlevania cameo. However, it doesn't look great on the face of it, and that's not just a cruel jab at the titular hero. I mean, I can barely talk. What I mean is that its artwork is just ripped off straight from the original 1983 Hunchback, but this only masks what is actually a refreshingly simple and enjoyable platformer. Consisting of 9 stages, each with 5 parts, it's a throwback to when portable titles were just happy to give you a hard-as-nails experience, with no in-app purchases as a safety net. The controls are tight, with the Hunchback pretty much controlling as you'd expect him to. He's slightly leaden, but packing an impressive leap. There's a certain satisfaction to nailing these jumps. In terms of location, it begins in a forest and goes into the castle, and stays there for pretty much the rest of the game. Despite this lack of locales, Super Hunchback has a surprising amount of personality. The hero is certainly relatable, at least, in the way he reacts to obstacles, whether it's being burnt by fire or getting wellied squarely in the nads. Then there's the amazing way the game starts with a bleep-tastic rendition of Putting on the Ritz, which I will always link in my mind to that scene from Young Frankenstein.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
What is a problem is the difficulty. When I said that this is as hard as nails, I wasn't lying. You get 3 continues and that is it. Lose them all and it's back to the start. Some of these stages require absolute precision to complete, so having no password save is a real issue. There's even a pretty cruel time limit to follow. Now this is what you could call a real bell end. Get it? Because it's ending your game? Never mind. The occasional bonus stage can't really help with this problem, although the presence of a cheat code that gives you infinite lives certainly can. Not that I would ever use that, of course, and I would ignore all the telltale signs on the footage that suggest otherwise. Ultimately, however, Super Hunchback is a title that isn't particularly notable, aside from the fact that it's about a rarely used character in games, or media in general really. But going back to answer my original question, I think Hunchbacks are cool. I mean, check out this guy. What a player. And hey, nothing creepy happened to me this Halloween, so that's a bonus as well. No, that wasn't a creepy fade out, nothing's gonna happen, honestly. Happy Halloween.
Why am I doing this?